Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 1139 of Flow Wrestling Radio, live from Austin, Texas, presented by Nike Wrestling. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined today, usual crew for a Thursday, James Dean Rader to the right, to the left, with his new Nike shoes. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Spade did not have to flex on him this hard, but he did.
Jade green, according to people that know more about fashion than
There you go. Mm-hmm. And then to the left, Tyler Meisinger, rocking the Jamiroquai.
Talk about fashion.
Talk about fashion.
This is an Albanian hat, isn't it?
No.
No,
It's Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan. The Albanian hat's over there.
Yes.
You'd be the freshest looking guy in Bishkek.
Mm-hmm.
That's often been his goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. How about we got this new light thing? That looks pretty cool, right? We're so Nike'd out here. This is a new feature using the latest in stencil technology, perhaps. I'm not sure what they use, but I just walked in and it looked awesome.
Yeah.
And they said we should talk about it. So there it is.
Very professional.
All right. Still a ton to get into from Final X, fallout from there. We're going to talk about the updated NCAA rankings, the NCAA quarter century team, and who knows what else. We'll take your questions, of course. James Dean, where to first, sir?
I want to put a bow on Final X. I want to hear your confidence picks of our world team, from who you think is most likely to medal to the person you have the least amount of confidence in.
I want some help with this. I think the bookends are kind of easy, I think 57, definitely our most likely medal, was Spencer Lee. I think the least likely, this could be debated, but I would say right now is probably PJ Duke. He's 18, and 70's pretty deep, pretty tough. And would I be saying the same if it was Yanni there? I don't know. I don't know if I would, but
It's not being pessimistic either. It's
No.
70. This is a great opportunity for PJ Duke to get out there and put hands on the best in the world. He's done it at age levels. He's clearly ready to do it at the senior level, but it's also like temper your expectations if you're Duke Mafia.
And I'm between that and 65. I'm not sure which, and maybe Real should be the least likely one. And
Just because that weight class is insane.
That weight class is insane. So I could be swayed on the lowest one. Curious what you guys think.
They feel about the same.
Yeah, same likelihood.
Threat, if you have to put odds, the odds are, I think, not in their favor that they bring home a medal, but capable, maybe 30% shot.
And how much better can PJ get in a couple months is a very, very real question.
He's moving to State College now. Right?
State College. Well, hey, I graduate June 27th. He graduates June 28th. Oh, yeah, you weren't on the last show.
I listened to the PJ interview, though.
Okay. Thank
What
you.
worries me is how that first match with Yanni went. And you don't get match number 2 and match number 3 at the World Championships. You get one crack
No
at
margin
each
for
guy.
error.
Yes.
Correct.
What does that do for your self-belief, though, like getting that?
Exactly. I think a lot.
Do a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
And now another thing I was thinking about, well, if he goes to Junior Worlds and like doesn't win, U20 Worlds and doesn't win, it's like I don't think anything's going to shake his confidence, but it may be hard for someone to believe I can win seniors or medal at seniors if you don't. But then again,
You would say the same thing. It'd be hard to win match 2 and 3 after you got
everything he
match 1.
did has defied logic, really, when you think about it.
I'm trying to think of a good example. They escape me, but I know there's been guys that entered U20s and then have been the senior rep. I know Azerbaijan went on like
Iramov's done that.
Yeah, Suleimanov, he was doing that also for Azerbaijan.
I mean, Kyle Snyder was 2014 Junior World Bronze, 2015 World Gold. Like, those are not uncommon trajectories that you see.
The French 74 kilo guy does it, or used to do it.
Rachmanov.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Abubakar Abakarov, the 86 guy for Azerbaijan. I don't know any that like either didn't play, like didn't do well at U20s and then like medal.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But
not same year, but sometimes you'll see like previous year lower performance, the next year they win.
Yeah.
I want to say Asgarov did, but then I remember he beat Logan in the final, so maybe I'm wrong about that one. But I guess he went that was in 2011, and the next year he won the Olympics. Anyway,
Pretty good.
yeah, he's really good.
Who's your second most confidence pick?
Wyatt, which
Okay.
Whoa.
absolutely. So
Wow.
yesterday, I'm starting to like watch everything and really dig in on these weights. And watching 125, I could not find a match where I could get intimidated by anyone but the one guy.
I don't even want to say his name.
I'm not even gonna
Voldemort?
dignify it. Voldemort. He is Voldemort to me. No, sorry. Obviously that is a very unique challenge that you never know how you're gonna be ready for. But Masumi's not in the field. Munktur, okay. I mean, he's been at Stillwater, I'm pretty sure, and trained.
Yes.
And then
Mongolian.
Georgie, the Georgian guy that's not getting.
Monashvili?
Yeah. What's it? No, I don't think that's his last name. It's a Shvili. He might wrestle for Azerbaijan now. But anyway, not worried about him. The Kazakhstan guy, all he tries is double overthrows. Like, I just watch these guys, and I really am struggling to find how they beat Wyatt. I just don't think they have the offense. I think Wyatt's just not going to wrestle the kind of match that they want to be involved with.
The only reason I'm not skeptical, I do think that Wyatt should and will win a medal.
Yeah.
But Trent Hilger dropped 14 points on him.
You've also got Mason Paris and Paris PTSD, maybe.
Maybe I do.
That is honestly one of the things that sort of did throttle back some of my expectations. As I was kind of going back and forth on this, was like the Mason factor that he lost to Munktur, and then I think Munktur lost to the guy. Let me pull up the international rankings.
Dang, the Chinese.
No. He's Eastern European dude. I'm pretty sure he's Georgian, but transferred to Azerbaijan.
Melashvili or something?
Yes.
They're tough to remember the pronunciations. But
Yes,
like
it is.
a ML.
Go to a 125.
Because the Georgian that was
Yes, Georgi Meshvildishvili. Yeah, he's Azeri, but he's Georgian. Baitar Mirzaev, this guy just tries double overthrows forever. Masumi's not in the field. I'm having a hard time.
I don't see Daniel Leggetti posing any problems for Wyatt.
No.
Mom's spaghetti.
So it's,
But dang.
I mean, Dang is like a monk tour.
Yeah.
Just wants to like counter for you. And I just think that's going to be really hard to do against. Like Hilger went and got it, right?
It's true.
He went after him. And listen, Wyatt made tons of mistakes.
That's what.
But it's like, here's the thing. You watch some guys, you're like, that's about what you can get out of them, right? And without naming names, you watch someone, you're like, that's about as good as this person can wrestle. With Wyatt, so much of what he does is just like obvious, like kind of like the David Carr Mitchell match. It's like, all right, Mitchell beat him bad, but the mistakes he was making are like just obvious and correctable. And I feel like that with Wyatt, like, yeah, you don't airmail a shot and give up these go behinds. And
He even brought it up in the post-match interview. My theory on Wyatt was, and no disrespect at all to Hilger, settle for the step out. I could settle for like a go behind. I don't have to go for some big crazy move. And then even when he got on top, he still got some nice turns.
yeah,
So yeah, correctable stuff that could easily be cleaned up. And he's in a good training environment. He's got, going to have great partners. So it'll be interesting. It would be amazing if he beats Zare in the finals, and then you can write, "Sorry, Zari."
I mean, these are the things I dream about every day.
It would just be, yeah.
I
Headlines
wonder
write themselves.
I wonder how much his parterre will be an advantage against international guys.
I think it's a thing.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah.
Because he has been able to turn like every American he's wrestled.
We can get the rankings off the page here.
He also, like, you have to be at that level, like a physical heavyweight. You have to be able to handle these other big dudes, and he has got the physical tools.
Yes, he's really big. I could for sure in early rounds see him getting turns, but I could see him turning. Maybe not Munktur. I don't know. Maybe not. But I'm not ruling it out. And there's not a lot of guys on this entire team that I feel confident can like get on top and turn someone. It's not that. It's a pretty special class to be able to get consistent turns in parterre.
Yeah.
I feel like we do have a pretty good parterre team.
I think Spencer.
Obviously. David, I feel like, can turn just about anybody if he gets transition delays.
Maybe.
He regularly turns high level.
He was going to be the next name I say, and Wyatt, but like Kyle Snyder does not. Trent.
Zahida's turned Kyle Dake 3 straight matches.
True. So that's like 4 guys. Real Woods.
Real
That's a
Woods,
big
we've
part
been
of his
talking about. I
thing.
mean, that's
He's
All right, we're the best parterre nation by far.
I think. I mean, it depends on
Vito?
who Russia sends out there.
Lacey?
They're, like all their guys are always solid at parterre. They've lived and breathed.
I mean,
parterre.
Ono has got to be one of the best parterre guys in the world right now.
Are we counting
who
him?
wrestles for Japan.
Well, you're just talking about the U.S. guys? I thought we were also comparing them to international guys.
Oh,
No,
You just said America was the best. I was just saying.
no, I was joking that we're the best.
okay.
TP just said he was kind of bullish on our part there, and I was like, I don't know. I think we're
Yeah, bearish.
bearish. Excuse me, not bullish.
Last show you said something that made me think about Zahid is that okay, you have Ramazanov in the coming back and he's the returning Olympic champ, but Aaron Brooks had him beat, who's right there,
Dead.
and Zahid was a singlet pull had Brooks right there.
Yes.
And so it's tough to say he's more favored, but I feel maybe not the most confident, but I feel most excited to see what Zahid can do.
Right, when you take in confidence of bringing home a medal pick, you have to take in the field
Of course.
into account, and that's what it is. Zahid is one of, if not the best pound for pound wrestler.
Turning Dake
America.
as many times as he did, showing that he can, game plan for all of Dake's chest wrap stuff. Probably had some size, did have some size on him, but yeah, he's right there with the best. I mean, he competes overseas a lot. He is a veteran now of international trips.
I am positive that Zahid would win the first period against Ramazanov. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he would drop like 4 to 8 points on Ramazanov in the first period.
I could see that. I feel like Zahid's first periods are pretty crazy.
I need
The amount of speed, pop.
Yeah.
He's really got it all. I had him as my 3rd most likely, and I could be talked lower, just because that field is rife with threats. Ramazanov is so tough. Kadi versus Zahid Valencia maybe my
I need a 3-minute match though.
No, I think 6 minutes is gonna just
No, it favors a 6-minute match. Actually, I think favors Zahid. But I think if you just tell them, hey, you're only wrestling 3 minutes,
my gosh.
These are the current
let 'em
86
let it fly.
rankings.
So yeah, and then you have Gasimpor, who I think positional.
I honestly forgot about him for some reason.
Well, because he hasn't been at
hasn't
this
been at
weight.
this weight,
This is the
yeah.
first time he's been there, so he's rightfully. But like, I'm not worried about Ishiguro. Even though I know
Even though he did beat Zahid.
he did beat him.
I'm confident at picking Zahid, but I'm not saying I'm not worried.
See, but this is just a crazy weight, right? This is really tough. And if you look, there's not like a lot of double ups. It's Bulgaria, Iran, Belarus, Russia, Japan, USA for the top 6.
That's a solid top 4.
really solid. And Zahid's not in it right now,
Yeah.
rankings wise.
So Kurugliev is up at 92.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Then Nazar Pira moved up to?
And Miles Amin
Is
Come on. The GOAT.
gone.
Why not 92?
Retired. He retired.
92.
He's not that big.
He retired. What do you want me to tell you?
No one's retired.
The making
I don't think
weight
it was
wasn't
weight.
the issue. He was
Yeah, he's
small for the 86.
All right, fine. Go up to 97.
Sarah Hildebrandt retired, and she's going to wrestle again.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we can get off the rankings here again, but I think, 61. There's some doubt there because we don't know who our rep is. I kind of feel great about either, but this field just doesn't worry me, and so that's why I could as great as Zahid is and his wrestling. I think the 61 field compared to 86 is really different. So should that be higher? I don't know.
I mean, especially, I don't know why I say especially. If Jax beats Vito, you're going to feel good.
Yeah.
But it's just because we've seen Vito do it, where you feel a little bit
Twice.
better, right?
I'm just nervous about how close to 100% Vito is. If he had to postpone, if he's going to have nagging injuries, he can still beat Jax, but is not 100%.
I think very highly of Jax, so I'm kind of in the same boat where even if he's not 100, if he's able to beat Jax, that says a lot, I think.
How close was he to 100 in Albania?
That's a good question.
And he beat Agoyev there. And Ono, the guy that beat him, is not going to be there. I don't think. I'm not breaking news here. That's just my prediction.
But if would he need to delay if he was as good as he was in Albania?
he needed to delay, not because I would say the characterization of the delay is this. Not that he was not 100% healthy to wrestle. The surgeries and whatever pushed back the training time frame.
Okay.
So he's just sliding. It's just basically sliding the
More
training.
time to get back,
Yeah.
take off the mat rust and
Yeah.
finally tuned.
Yes, and to like get the full training. I know that factually Vito is training very, very hard right now
Right.
and is not doesn't seem to have any limitations in training.
He was just on Bader Show. Everybody should go listen.
Yes.
Gave a great interview. That
Good plug.
is he feeling confidence?
Bader asked him if he was used to being the hunted instead of the hunter. He said, I don't really feel hunted. We're just fighting over the same piece of meat. I like that.
Oh, wow.
Piece of metallic meat.
That's right. There's a
Precious metallic
There's a
meat.
dead wildebeest in there. They're both vying for it. Okay.
All right, let's move on to our NCAA quarter century team.
Oh, yeah. We haven't got to talk about so much because of Final X.
That's right. It turns out Final X pretty big event for us. So we got the results for 133 and 141. We'll start at 133 since we didn't get to that. No surprise, Logan Stieber was voted as the number one all quarter century 133 pounder, but maybe a little bit of controversy. 2, 3, and 4. Vito came in at number 2. Jordan Oliver, number 3. RBY, number 4.
Yeah. I honestly, I mean, I think Logan was, I talked about it a little bit, but I was back and forth the entire time between J.O. and Logan. I really think you could have gone either way there. And for me, the thing is, when you bring up Logan's dominance, you got to remember, Jordan Oliver was unbelievably dominant during, especially his sophomore, junior years. Just one of the best. And so that was tough. And the fact that they split, Logan has the NCAA win. Now, the fact that Jordan is somehow third here is crazy. Vito, love the guy, and you're doing nothing but splitting hairs when you're comparing all NCAA champions. But Vito didn't have an undefeated. He had a Sam Latona loss in what was considered kind of his breakout year, and then the next year he had 2 losses to Crookham. It's just not like what Roman did. It's not like what there's other 33s that I think could have been.
I think that was clearly a recency bias.
I know, but we should be above that.
No, but the fans, I mean,
But
I went JO too.
I think on our team vote, Vito would have been third.
Yeah.
But
It
the
was that
fans,
close.
the fans boosted Vito to number 2.
Vito, it's not a knock, but I mean, his career was so unorthodox as far as taking gray shirts and deferring eligibility. And there's different rules with IVs, but there was COVID, which he can't control. And then when he did come back, it was like limited pitch count for those last 2 years versus JO, which is like healthy or not. You got 4 years. It starts now. You did your red shirt as a freshman, and same with Logan. You got to just gut out those 4 years.
And I just think, I'm not saying I didn't include Vito either. Like, I maybe got caught up in it a bit as well, but I had JO ahead, and I just think I just think Jordan would have beaten Roman and Vito, but I think without a doubt, Logan Logan needs to be on an all quarter century team, not just because of he's a 4-time champ, but because how dominant he was. I feel like this was his year when he beat Ramos in the finals. I think was about as good as you can get, undefeated that year, I believe, and just highly, highly dominant.
You said you could go back and forth with Siebert and JO. I just don't think you can. I think you have to go Logan. Comparable dominance. I know they split, but he's got the trump card. 4 NCAA titles.
Yes, I agree.
You can always put that down on the table, and you can't go against that.
And I'm not in the JO was screwed camp. I think the reason they changed the rule is because it wasn't the rule before then. Bad rules, that's not Logan's fault. And it was a crazy upset at the time. I mean, people just did not think that was going to be a competitive match, just because it wasn't the last time they wrestled. But yeah, I think, you're probably right.
When I think of Logan Stieber, I think this is why people that say they love folk style, because he wrestled all three positions, and on top he did stuff that you just don't see, and makes it like a different sport than what you're used to watching when other people are on top. The arm bars, the tilts, everything that he runs. That's where it's like, yes, that's how you dominate. That's why folk style is, for the people that do think that. Him and like David Taylor, the St. Paris Graham guys, it seems like they have shaped a lot of opinions about folk style, and it's almost like an X Factor thing for me.
Yeah. Really good mat wrestler from Ohio, which sometimes they get picked on for not being good on top, and then Logan was otherworldly.
141, we have those results in as well. And again, this one I felt like had a clear number one with a 4-timer in Yanni. But then 2, 3, 4.
We have not announced this yet either. I think we're maybe breaking news.
Yeah, you just blew it.
Exclusive.
No, he hasn't blown
You
anything.
just blew it.
He has not said a single name yet.
I did.
He just
I
said a
just did.
name.
Oh.
He just said the clear number one was Yanni.
Oh.
Well, I said with a 4-timer. So
No,
It's okay.
Could have been Kale.
no, but it was Yanni. Breaking news. Yanni is your 141-pound NCAA all-quarter team member. But then the voting for 2, 3, and 4 was really close for the fan vote, and I think internally as well. But ultimately, it ended up being Kellen Russell, number 2, Jesse Mendez, number 3, Nick Lee, number 4.
Okay. I would flip Nick and Jesse probably, but Kellen and maybe Nick could be second or third in my opinion. But Kellen is a pretty slept on guy. There's a lot of. Here's the thing with the top 4 guys like Tion Ware and Gallic are really, I think, guys that would probably be winning in this era as well. It'd be interesting to know. There's not as much footage of them that exists. Like I remember watching their NCAA finals, but beyond that, like only like probably Andy and Klingman and Shives probably watched those guys in their heyday.
It was much more local. You had to be in that area.
Yeah, you had to be there.
Get it on the Iowa
Watch Gallic in
Public
his heyday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if
Ivan
you were on the
Hilton
East
Coliseum,
Coast,
baby.
you weren't getting any, Iowa stuff.
Right. So this was a really deep. I had Derek Moore in my top 4. I might have had him third just because undefeated, highly dominant NCAA champion.
Tech fall in the finals.
Tech fall in the finals.
I think probably the only 141 that can say that.
Yeah, I don't think Logan ever did. He had some pretty dominant runs, but never in the final. Yeah, and he's not even in this consideration. But yeah, Yanni, like Logan, Yanni, he had 2 at 41, 2 at 149. Where do you slot him? I know Tyler thought he should have been at 149.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
Kind of just arbitrary. I was just trying to, because we all did all
Just
the
wanted
weights.
Kellen Russell to get the number 1 spot at 141.
True. No, we did all the weights at once, like internally. We did all the weights because we already know what top 4 we're going to present to the fans. But so like when you're going through that, you kind of like decide, okay, I guess I'll put this guy here and this guy here and this guy here. Yanni, I put at 149 just because he finished his career there, and I thought that his first. He lost. When did he? I need to check his rest stat.
His senior year, he lost to Gomez.
Freshman year of his Ironman.
And here's the thing: Gomez beat him up.
Yeah, that's true.
Ironman was if there's a fluke loss, it's that one. He's up. He's pushing to build his lead. The match is basically over, and he gets. Not minimizing the win. I'm just saying that. If you compare those 2 losses, like it was obviously not going to happen again, and Yanni tactically sort of blew it more than I felt Ironman took it from him. And then he ripped off. It looked like he was going to go end his career without losing again.
I remember it was because he had a 28-0 season at 141 and a 28-0 season at 149, but his bonus percentage was higher in the 149 year, so that's why I put him at 149.
Yeah,
The research guy.
I felt like his weights were a little better at 41 also with McKenna, Meredith, Jaden,
Seabass.
Dean Heil. He beat Dean Heil his
Senior year.
no, not Seabass though. He was never in a weight with Sebastian.
Oh, that was Nick Lee.
So I don't know. It just felt like those were his best years. I don't know. Those felt like the Yanni years. I mean, his run, his true freshman year, going through Dean Heil in the quarters, coming back
Tearing his
there,
ACL.
tearing his ACL, then beating Jaden, I think in the semi, and then Bryce Meredith. He had to dog up there too. That was crazy.
He had a loss that year, but that was also his highest bonus percentage year.
Yeah.
71.
And if I remember correctly,
Hi.
Yanni didn't wrestle his senior year of high school, right? He was injured.
Yes.
And there was a lot of buildup, as in like finally Yanni is back on the mat, and he really, defined that era of Cornell wrestling. And he was the guy that you wanted to help with recruits. He's the guy that was going to lead in the locker room, and then he did cool moves on the mat. And, I'm partial to guys that do cool moves.
Would you have gone? Did you go Kellen too?
Let me look.
Kellen is number one, first of all.
First of
Because
all,
he's one of your coaches.
He got slept on.
what did I do? CP.
He's a great New Jerseyan, and
I did go Kellen number 2.
I bet Kellen beats Yanni right now in the room. I'm just kidding.
You're off your rocker.
I bet he has his days, though.
Those would have been some scrambles, though. Honestly, yeah.
I remember back in the old days of 2013 when Kellen came out, and this didn't really factor in, but it was just one of my first memories of really following him. So when I was getting really into like freestyle wrestling, and he won the U.S. Open, and he just looked like an absolute world beater in that tournament.
I literally thought he was like, I'm like, dude, this guy might give Metcalf a real match. And then Metcalf killed him.
No,
like, all right.
that was AI.
That was AI.
Yeah.
Who knew they had it back then?
Yeah.
I think Kellen did beat Metcalf in international like once, twice. I could be misremembering. I thought at the U.S. Open one year he beat him, but
I don't think so.
maybe it was like
He beat some good guys.
I was rooting for the all New Jersey world team.
I don't think he
In there, Jordan Burroughs taking over, Zach Ray.
probably
made
look
a
it up.
team.
But I don't think so.
What Kellen has over Lee and Mendez is his ability not to lose.
Yeah.
Because obviously wasn't an incredibly prolific bonus point scorer, but guy did not lose.
I do want to say Nick Lee had a undefeated season that had Jaden Ironman, Sebastian Rivera, Stevan Micic,
Was Real Woods in there?
Real Woods, all in his weight class. Like that's a.
Or was that Real's weird year where
That
he
was
came
the-
back for Pac-12s only,
that was-
pretty much?
That was the year he lost to Cole Matthews. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I'm wrong. Metcalf lost to Jordan Oliver, who then lost to Kellen in the finals of the U.S. Open
Yeah.
that year.
Yup.
Yeah. Nick Lee, total stud, though. Like, kind of gets lost in the shuffle of all the Penn State greats.
He really does.
And I think that's why Jesse got outvoted or finished above him.
Because he always had two
That's
other
what he-
guys that were going to get more Hodge Trophy votes than him on his own team. It's
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying Nick doesn't, but there's just something about Jesse that is kind of magnetic. The way he's just a brawler and a fighter. He's a fan favorite. And probably if Nick Lee didn't wrestle for Penn State, this is one of the weird times, but where he would have been maybe a more popular wrestler, but because he was on teams with other Hodge Trophy winners, like you said,
yeah. Well, Jesse was the face of the Ohio State program, and
he still has
he
another
still
year.
is, and winning outside of the Penn State machine while they were while they're dominating makes you stand out more. I mean, it's just rare to see a guy do that. Beat Penn State guys in the finals.
Yeah. Right. That does definitely make him stand out. All right. Let's get to some news that we haven't been able to get to that's happened over the past week with Final X. Iowa State going hard in the portal, wasting no time after Troy Nickerson announced he was leaving Northern Colorado. They picked up probably their two best guys on the team, Siva Poyen and Vinny Zerbin.
Yeah, these are, if you're wondering how this happens, how these guys portal, if your coach leaves, you can jump in and end up transferring. So that's how come they're able to do so. Keep an eye out for the other Northern Colorado guys, if they stay or if they go. Not sure the time frame for Northern Colorado's replacement. That process is definitely ongoing right now and progressing.
Give us names.
No, I only have a couple. Yeah, I only have two, so I'm not gonna give any right now
Fine.
because I don't want to. Yeah.
Make a couple up and sprinkle them in. That's the real and the fake ones.
JD Raider.
Kale Sanderson.
Oh,
Possibly Kale. I mean, that would, if you need to prove that you are the GOAT of all
He
time.
needs to prove it. There's still. Is he good at coaching?
Is it, of his era?
Yeah. No, so I don't know, but yeah, that's obviously getting that head coach named is going to help them potentially keep those guys that are still there. What's nice about Northern Colorado is the blueprint is there already. Like Troy basically made it happen, showed, hey, this is how you do it. And I think for that reason, I think it's going to be able to continue to be a really, really solid program. But for Iowa State, landing Poulin and Zurban is really big. I think. Because I think they solidify weights where I think there's questions. Now, what does it mean for Pinheiro, Echemendia? I mean, their lineup's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I think the Frosts are staying 33-41. It depends what. I think Echemendia is still between 41 and 49. I don't know why you would cut him down to a weight where what's Echemendia's potential at 141 versus 149? Do we really think is it that much higher? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's got the strength.
I think you got Mendez, you got Brock Hardy, you've got who else? Stanich is in there.
Maybe Marcus plays.
Maybe I don't think so. I mean,
Marco go 33.
Marcus said he's going 33.
I feel like the move is. I feel like Penn State lineup wise. I mean, Marcus Blaze just beat Brock Hardy.
Yeah.
Right? He went with Jesse Mendez. I feel like he can do the same amount at 33 as he can at 41, and Nagauer Davis is almost for sure going to be better at 33.
Maybe. But I think more than anything, Marcus should just go where he's going to be best. I think that's 133 right now.
You don't exactly have to play lineup games to win the title if you're Penn State.
I'm not if I'm Marcus or Penn State staff, I'm not like, well, Braden may be better at this way. It's like, no, get the guy where he's best, and then they can make the most of what's left of the situation. That would be my thought. But anyways, for Iowa State,
Just saying,
the Cyclones. If you can go Poulin, Frost, Echemendia, Zurban, to me, that is better than Poulin, Frost, Echemendia, Frost, Zurban. Just because I feel like you take Jacob out of a weight where he's shown what he can do, and where he's probably not going to be big enough for you. Maybe it would be all right. That's just kind of my read.
iWrestle did put out a graphic the other day, and they had Big Frost moving up to 49.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Stan at 33.
But it's like if you're think about Echemendia, like he did not really want to go 141. I think he was going to
After NCAA that 1 year, he said, "I'm never going back."
Exactly.
141.
So it's like Jacob would rather not go 49. Echemendia would probably rather not go 141. So why not just put them where they? I don't know.
Yeah, it's they'll have to see. Dresser will have to see when everybody comes back to campus, which will probably be fairly soon, I guess, and. We're in the summer. I don't know. But, yeah, they have to figure out how much, what they can physically do and then where they'll be at their best.
And then how are they looking, 65, 74? Is it Gaitan or you?
Gaitan 74. Well, Riggins or Uten. So Uten, he impressed at the beginning of the year before getting hurt in the Cyhawk duel. But Riggins finished around a 16 at NCAAs, too. He had a rough start to the year for sure, but I thought he got a lot better throughout the year. So that'll be a tough roster battle on a weight where I think now is no longer like a hole.
Do you think
like you can throw a guy out there and he's going to go against most of the guys in the country, NCAA wise?
I just don't see the upside compared to Uten.
No, yeah.
Do you think Pinheiro will throw his hat in up at 65 or stay at 57 and try
It's
to
too small.
figure out a way to?
I mean, there's talk of him going 49.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's his best weight.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think they're having a hard time trusting him at the NCAA tournament,
But he's a two-time Big 12 champ.
know.
No-time All-American. Might not make the lineup, though.
Yeah.
And then Who's 84? Because then you get Elam and Younger.
Dean, the transfer from Rider.
Isaac Dean.
Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah, so very good team.
And then Elam,
Yep.
Bastido.
We'll get into the team rankings here soon. Want to also mention Ryan Kirkham announced he got his medical red shirt approved already.
Steve Spade, very happy.
So Steve Spade's pumped. So yeah, 3 more years for Ryan Kirkham. His sophomore year will be this year. And then Scotty Sentez steps down as Campbell head coach, now at the Wrestling and Business Network, the executive director, which, a lot of people, when I think it was Coach Tierpelli tweeted, like, very concerning to see Kevin Ward go from Army to Oklahoma State. I said, not concerning at all, in my opinion. Sentez leaving, that makes me nervous.
Yeah,
That
it
to
wasn't
me-
this is just rumors, but you hear that they went from 10 scholarships to like 3, and that kind of set off some waves in the off season, and then it kind of died down, and then you didn't hear much. Some guy, Gadali transferred, but that was like, hey, if we can do that, that just proves that Campbell is capable of getting guys to the All-American level so it wasn't like, okay, that's just going to happen at programs like Campbell. But then when it's real quiet and then the head coach leaves
Yeah.
and everybody's kind of in limbo.
Yeah, I did not like. I'm happy for Scotty. I'm sure it's a great opportunity, but Campbell's a really cool story, cool program, a successful program, and I'm not being an alarmist, but I was alarmed.
Yeah, you don't know how everything's still going to shake out. The House settlement had to be approved by the right judges. Then it got approved with a little bit of differences. So the roster caps are being grandfathered in, so nobody has to get cut yet until they all cycle through their years of eligibility. But then there's like a half a dozen Title IX lawsuits that I read about that could gum up the works, and then. Yeah, you just the non-revenue sports, the Olympic sports, which wrestling is one of, they're just kind of along for the ride. And it's football driving the bus with basketball also trying to co-pilot. But otherwise, we're just waiting for the powers that be to decide how the season and recruiting and NIL and everything is going to work.
Before we get to our updated NCAA rankings, I want to remind everyone that we are presented by Nike Wrestling. Whether it's your first time on the mat or you're the reigning Olympic champion, get the gear designed, the exact specifications, and championship athletes. AthletePS.com is the home for Nike Wrestling with the largest selection of Nike Wrestling footwear and apparel on the market. Visit AthletePS.com. A lot of great stuff.
Yeah, and if you're a coach, remember, outfit your whole team in Nike Wrestling stuff. They can service all your team outfitting and event merchandising needs, from design to production to on-site execution. So head to athleteps.com, or for that one, contact team sales at athleteps.com to get started. Good reminder, James.
Saw a lot of Nike at Final X, so it seems to be working pretty well for
did.
these elite athletes.
Indeed.
I will say that.
All right. Newly updated NCAA rankings. Go check them out on our website. Get pumped for this season. Christian, what were your kind of initial takeaways, surprises, stuff that stood out?
Well, it took you guys over a year, but AJ Ferrari finally ranked in his rightful spot at number one at heavyweight.
Heavyweight AJ.
For Nebraska, which is it's crazy to think about the ripple effect of that move and how freaking good Nebraska is going to be. The team race is really interesting. I don't know if Tyler can pull those in, but you or Kozak, I forget, I think it must have been John, was like having us guess like who the top 4 were. And pretty cool to see, just from the Cyhawk standpoint. You're going to love this, JD, but Iowa and Iowa State 3 and 4. But it goes Penn State, Nebraska, Iowa, Iowa State, Ohio State, Lehigh 6th, NC State 7th, Oklahoma State down at 8, Michigan 9, Illinois 10. Now, Oklahoma State has a super, super talented team they're going to put on the mat. There's a ton of questions on who's going where. There's a lot of unproven talent at the NCAA level that's likely going to be able to massively outperform the projection. But someone like Zach Ryder, probably not earning a lot of points.
Right.
Even Alex Facundo. We don't know who they're, Richard Figueroa definitely has potential to score more points than he's currently ranked at. He is a national champion. And we don't know, like 41, 49, 50. Is D. Lockett going to be wrestling this year? It seems like he wants to, and these are, Kozak hit me up and was like, hey, where should we rank? How should we do 65, 74, 84 for Oklahoma State? And it feels like, and I just said, hey, I would do Facundo, Ryder, Braden Thompson's 65 through 84, and then just see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's not certain what's going to happen. Like, could D be a 57 this year? Maybe. Is Landon Robidoux going out the rip? Maybe. Teague Travis, 57. Those are just 57 options. You go 49, they're rife with options there as well.
Yeah. Well, it happens every year when the preseason comes out, and then for the first month or so, people go, oh, this team is much better than where they're ranked. And you go, well, these are not predictions. These are, where are they right now based on the results and the information that we have? And, when a guy is real young, when it's a freshman or somebody that doesn't have a lot of NCAA results, and then they get them, they'll move up quickly. Because you'll know, JD and Kozak will know that, like, okay, this guy is a dude. He just hasn't gotten the results yet to justify it, because you can't just assume that he's going to get those wins. Otherwise, you got to assume everybody, and then you're not doing results-based ranking. You're doing prediction-based.
Yeah, Mr. Uncle Chill P will then berate us for 15 years.
For 49, Swiderski, I almost forgot about him there as a 49-pounder.
Maybe Tegan, if he can't make 41 anymore.
And then maybe that makes
he's
room
forced
for
to
Vega.
bump up, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious how it all, will shake out for them. They've got a lot of good true freshmen coming in. It feels certain Merrill will be the 97-pounder, and I would expect Doucette at heavyweight and Spratley at 25. But a lot of questions. But it's still a really good team. But that's one thing that stood out. And Iowa State, from having one returning All-American, now you get Younger back. You bring in Elam. You bring in Poulin, Zerbin, Isaac Dean. It's the
trophy team by ranking.
Yeah.
By ranking.
And they were outside the top, what was it, 16 or something? So no national
For
duels.
national duels.
Yeah.
But we got
Dude,
it.
I think they were outside the top 20.
Yeah, wow.
It was
No,
like top
wasn't it 24?
20-something. Yeah, it was.
I think it was 24.
20, okay.
And they
And
were
that was to
25.
get the ping pong balls to be drawn in.
Right.
Because it was top, 12 and then plus 4 or yeah,
something like that.
very close to that. But yeah, to go from outside that, and now we're talking about a trophy team. So, hey, off-season, a lot can change.
For sure. Especially when you got a little cheddar to throw these guys away.
Yeah.
And it's like, my mind goes to Cyhawk duel,
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
naturally.
That's where it stays.
Always.
Your mind didn't have to go there.
Like, is this a year Iowa State can get the win?
I mean, it's said every year, and then they just find a way to not get it. We'll have to, and a lot needs to shake out with Iowa too.
Mm-hmm. Are they going to do the bump down?
What happens? Is Nasir Bailey going to wrestle this year or not? They're going to bump him up to 41. Is at 49, Jordan Williams. There's a lot more questions now than there were a week and a half ago after he gets in trouble. Sammy Alvarez looms, does not have his year approved yet. So 49 went from, all right, we got someone, to, well, and truthfully, Jordan is not yet signed with Iowa. So that's why the university couldn't even comment about the arrest. And so then you've got Sammy Alvarez waiting for his year. Victor Voinovich at 57, I think sounds like what they're going to do. And then you go Caliendo, Kennedy.
Really, they're going Voinovich over Estrada?
Oh, I don't know. It's just rumor. It could be Estrada. I think he'll have an opportunity. I think they maybe like Victor more, or maybe they feel like there's upside. It's nothing from the coaching staff, just like what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And then 97, it's going to be a really close duel. 97, they have Dean, which, he's good, but unproven at the NCAA Division I level, right? And then Keeter, surgery, post-surgery, post-football.
Is he even going to be available, Cyhawk?
That's a huge question.
If I had to bet, I don't think so.
Man, they need to figure something out.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because, this is, I'm telling you, you may think NCAA is all that matters to Penn State. I'm telling you, on the Mount Rushmore of things Coach Brands and company cares about the most, beating Iowa State in this dual meet is way, way up there. In my mind, it's bigger than even Penn State. That rivalry.
The rivalry runs deep, and there was even a 6-part documentary about one of their biggest dual meets between those two.
You can watch it on Flow Wrestling.
Absolutely.
www.wrestling.org. The duel.
All right. Any other things you want to poke and prod about for rankings?
Well, I thought you guys did a good job. What do you guys think the toughest weight next year is? Normally, it's like pretty easily identifiable. I have one in my mind, but I'm curious if it's what you guys think.
Oh, yeah. I haven't.
You don't have one. 157 for me, I think, is super, super tough. If you can pull that up, Tyler.
Yep.
Who are you going to war with?
People are really wondering why I'm wearing this hat.
Oh.
There's also someone asking who I am, so I had to tell him who I am.
Who you are?
He said,
Why don't you just send your Michigan
guy's like,
bio?
who is the guy with the hat? And I was like, hi, I'm Tyler.
NCAA qualifier. That's who.
He said, he actually asked, is he an NCAA champion? He also called it a Wizards hat. He said, who's the guy in the Wizards hat?
I like it.
Cast some mean spells.
That's gonna look like a wizard hat, a little more round than pointy, but
So I'm just chatting it up with the chat right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
big
You're,
chat,
you're
man.
not locked in on whatever we're saying. Go to 157.
Okay.
I think this is the toughest weight. I'm curious what the chat would say. Antrell, Joey, Kasak, or Duke, Meyer Shapiro, Cardenas, Waters, I think is just a ferocious first 6, really deep. And then you go, you got someone like Ethan Miller at the 10, Brandon Cannon. Look at 13, Ryder Downey, Peyton Keller.
Yeah.
This is a really good weight.
it is a really good weight. And it's got kind of not a final boss, but the top couple are as good as anybody, especially if you throw like a PJ Duke in there. And it's got the depth. It's not one of those weights where, is it the hardest, like 65? Like when you say, which weight is the hardest to win? Well, okay, well, maybe that's the hardest because it's got a final boss.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah. When
this
you
one's
look at
got
this,
both depth and.
yeah, you think of Smash Mouth because the hits start coming and they don't stop.
They
coming.
don't stop coming.
It's a good weight for that.
But now here's some questions with 57. Does Joey Blaze, kind of been rumored he may redshirt, and then go up? I think he's so big at 57. I think that'll be tough. What happens with Kasak? Does he redshirt or wrestle? But Cardenas a year coming back. I mean, everyone just really high on him. There's probably some names that are going to enter the conversation that aren't there yet. I think 41 is going to be really tough. If your theory of Blaze comes true, then it's just
It wasn't a theory. it's just
ballistic. No, but that would be insane because then you would have Jesse, Brock Hardy, and then potentially Marcus. But Luke Stanich now emerging as a really tough guy. 25, I have a hard time with 25 because on the one hand, it feels like there's a lot of contenders. On the other hand, I don't know. Luke Lillidahl is so freaking good. But
didn't get it done.
he didn't get it done. He lost, but he was so young. Vincent Robinson, yeah, maybe this is a wide open weight. Luke maybe needs to slam the door more for him to get that distinction.
It could look like a Lillidahl dominant season at the end of the season, but right now you can't put that on him and say he's gonna, run the team.
I was ready for him to just fully sprint through the NCAA tournament, and when he didn't, I'm like, okay,
Sprinted through the backside.
that's true.
Yeah.
How
But
about the Lehigh 1-2-3? You got Seymour, got that win over Lillidahl, and then you have Crookham coming back, and then Stanich, big boy Stanich.
Yes. Yeah, he's going to be great at 141, I feel. And then they got the number 1 pinner, Kelvin Griffin.
Kelvin Griffin, who pins everyone. They got a heavyweight back from injury, Nathan Taylor, who was ranked in the top 10. It's a great day to be a Mountain Hawk fan, just saying.
Yes, indeed.
Which weight do you think is the most wide open?
I don't know. Wide open being the most guys can win. 285 in a lot of ways. It sort of depends how great AJ is at this weight, right? Because I mean Trumbull, Bastida. How much better does Godali get? AJ Ferrari. Look at what happened with Heinzelman at Michigan. Not that I want to give Michigan any more love because we got the freaking love factory over here. But man, he got really freaking good. I think the potential with Godali. I have not sold one of my Feldman shares My predictions may be a little different this year than they were a year ago, but I still maintain Nick Feldman is just an unreal talent.
there.
It's there.
Yeah.
And you got diamond hands when it comes to Nick Feldman.
Diamond hands.
Total.
Yes. Just like some people have with their NFTs.
Mm-hmm. I have not sold one crypto yet.
Yes.
The same way.
Yeah. He's big.
Never sold a crypto in my life.
Big holder. I mean, Nathan Taylor at 8 is, yeah. So I think this could be up there, but
Yeah, I mean, look, a name like Braxton Amos down at 15. We haven't seen him in it feels like forever. And then Kaka and Mullen, Colbert, and then Mirasola. I mean, Mirasola's got huge potential at 11.
184, I
It's a
don't
pretty deep top 15. Yeah.
really deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun heavyweight class. 197. Who remains there?
I'll pull it up.
He's pulling it up for
The
us.
memory remains.
Bar, Elam, Novak. No, I don't think so. I think those are. I think Bar's gonna run it next year, right?
You're not
Yeah.
giving Elam a shot?
Hmm.
Not giving Elam a shot?
I need to see Elam healthy.
Bro, he hadn't wrestled in so long, and even best Elam, I don't know if he beats that Josh Barr we saw last year.
Yeah.
Elam's never made a final, and
I-
Barr did it his first year.
Yeah.
His first year of eating that much beef too. This is year 2 of the KSAC cow.
The
So,
case that cow can
who knows
feed
how
families.
exactly, literally.
I know he doesn't have a ton of NCAA results, but I could see Rademacher making a run up very deep in there. He's at number 6, which is still very high, but
Yeah.
yeah, he can go with everybody in there.
84. It feels like it's gonna be McAnally, Angelo, Rocco. It was interesting. Y'all went Angelo over Rocco. I'm not opposed, but Rocco has a whole season of data. But the reason I probably agree is like Rocco's run to the final. He did it, but it wasn't like
Angel has the best win.
he beat Plot.
He beat Plot.
Yeah, I'm not vehemently opposed, and we're gonna see it. But I don't feel like it's a wide open weight. I'd be kind of surprised if one of those. I don't know if Rocco's beating Angelo or Max.
This may be one of the more fun weights, or the weights that I'm looking forward to, because you got that star power up top. Ferrari, big name. Rocco Welsh now at Penn State. McAnally showed that he could do the thing as a freshman, and then you go all the way down, and you got Aiden Sinclair at number 10.
Ooh.
And that's a guy that's got big sky-high potential that could be climbing up there. But Bennett Berge, Silas Allred, Dylan
right.
Fishback, all those guys are great. Jackson Smith, my Maryland guy,
Yes.
they do a lot of cool moves. And you know how I feel about guys that do cool moves.
Have Big Ten teams, I think maybe I saw one,
Their schedules are starting to come out.
but are they just saying Big Ten opponents and no dates listed?
Yes.
Right.
Just you'll know if it's home or away. That's all you'll know right now.
Call me when they release dates.
Yeah. Let me know when there's a date.
It's still pretty early.
You're like Chael Pete.
I know.
I don't know the date.
'Cause I want to know when Iowa and Minnesota are going to duel.
74 is Levi. 65 is Mitchell. 57 we talked about. 49, I'd say it's pretty open. Henson, Van Ness, Lachlan.
McNeil with a Michigan singlet on.
Looted. Eluded at Ohio State. That's kind of wide open.
Oh, wow. McNeil Styles for the big Michigan-Ohio State rivalry.
That's kind of lit.
They've gone back and forth.
Yeah. Henson and Van Ness feel like the top two, but yeah, Styles, a lot of potential as just a sophomore. McNeil, he's extremely wily. Swiderski back in action.
Oh, yeah.
Swidowski, as some people in this office call him.
It sounds like something my dad would say.
Yeah.
Luke Lillidahl is Linendahl. Or Linden.
Lindenhall.
Lindenhall, yes.
Lindenhall.
That's it. And it doesn't matter how many times you go. It's actually Lillidahl, but anyway.
Yeah.
Let's call him Luke.
All right, should we get to some questions?
Let's do it.
Boom. All right. First
Hit
question.
it, Jamiroquai.
First question is from Monday's show, so hopefully you didn't answer it. Did you guys talk about this picture of young PJ Duke? And
No.
this is funny. He
There it is.
Joe Warren goes, "How does the kid bottom row second from the left have that big of a neck at 5 years old?"
Oh, that's PJ?
Yeah, dude, that's definitely PJ.
Bro, look at his traps.
Look at him.
That's crazy. Oh, I replied to this tweet because I didn't know that was PJ because he's just like, I don't know, he's 5.
It's been Duke Mafia since he was a
Literally.
Pike.
I said, looks like they sent him 2-3 years Dagestan. And forget. Like they already did that. Yeah. What a beast.
Next question. CP, you may have liked some of the tweets from your personal account because
I
I'm not
did.
seeing which ones you
Shoot,
liked.
I'm sorry, I did.
It's okay. The next question is from Matt Wrestling 133. He said, I recall hearing about Yanni visiting Oklahoma a few months ago. Do you believe a change of scenery would be beneficial or detrimental to him?
I don't think it's
Well, there's only two options. It's either going to be the best thing he's ever done or the worst thing he's ever done.
no. Yeah, he did. He did visit. There was talk about him going to Stillwater. I think he's. I think you can just. I talked about it a little on Monday's show. Like, you should not overreact to this loss. I think Yanni is wrestling really well. He made tactical mistakes. I think that cost him the series. I'm not saying if he went to Oklahoma State that would not be beneficial, but I think that it's also beneficial for him to stay where he's been and where he's had a lot of success. And he made it to Final X, and he's won 4 NCAA titles. And he is a world silver medalist. By the way, the only room that has produced a 65 kilogram world medal in America since 2006 is Cornell.
Yeah.
No one else has done it. So I don't know. It's easy to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but I think he's wrestling pretty well.
I agree, and I think maybe with Dake not being there, you start thinking like, well, do they have the partners and everything? But Cornell has always brought in, for decade plus now, they have donors and boosters that are bringing in international guys, bringing in Eastern Europeans and Russian guys and whatnot. So he's getting hands on guys that will help him win medals.
You know, if Yanni wants to go and train for 3 weeks in Stillwater, I don't think they're probably saying no or not. You know, he can do that. He may not be able to go to Penn State, but you know, I think there's ways to work around it. So no, I'm not. And if he made the decision, I think it would work out also.
There's also something to be said too, where how your quality of life off the mat affects your mental well-being and affects your wrestling.
Yeah.
On the mat, if you are the happiest where you are from, went to college, where your family lives close by, if you have a girlfriend or a wife or whatever, like that stuff matters too to your overall well-being, and which bleeds into how you wrestle.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, where should Marcus Blaze go to college? It's like, well, he's going to kill it wherever he goes. Like a lot of these recruits, it's like, you know, Penn State is they're the best at development. There's no question about it. But a lot of these guys, they're undeniable, right? And I think Yanni's an undeniable guy, and he's gonna do really well wherever he is.
Yes.
Ben really sells that too. Askren, I remember he's a big advocate of like, it's your journey. You're going to figure it out or you're not.
Yeah.
And like he says that even about like how he coaches a lot too, where he says, I can only do so much. It's up to you to do the rest. And you're going to figure it out if you really want to, no matter where you are.
For sure.
All right. Next question is from Lil Spidey Boy. He said, he's in our chat all the time. Shout out Lil Spidey Boy. What percentage do we attribute Zahid's success against Dake to his technical improvement, Dake being undersized, Dake aging, etc.? I feel like if Dake were a full-size 86, it's not as one-sided at minimum.
Well, I would say it's a little bit of everything. I think he is getting a little bit better. I think Dake is older. I think the move to Stillwater, he went there with the intent of doing this, like understanding that he wasn't, you know, it's not all on where he was before. It's like, I think there was a lot of things in, you know, his own, as he took a personal inventory that he knew he needed to improve. I think it's a little bit of everything. I think he's entering that period of time where we saw the age where we saw Kyle Dake and David Taylor jump levels, and now he's in that age period now. And so I think it's a little bit of everything that contributed to it.
Yeah, if you look at, you know, performance and your age, obviously when you're a little baby, you're not much good at wrestling. And
No.
you get better, and then you have a peak, and then Father Time beats everybody. And where Zahid and Dake are on their relative aging curves, it just seems like Zahid is just past him.
Yeah.
But I think Dake can still do awesome things, and I'm hoping for it.
Next question.
Next question is from Mason. He said, is Levi Haynes a sleeper Hodge pick? Keegan O'Toole, Hamity, and Levi were all a strata above the 174 field last season, and both Hamity and Keegan O'Toole are gone. Could Levi get close to 100% bonus on that field next year?
No. Well, yes, he's absolutely a sleeper. Not even a sleeper. He is.
I'm wide awake on that.
I'm so conscious on this. It's like I just did a Red Bull. And I would say that he's going to have a really high bonus rate. I would expect him to go undefeated. And I think he's going to have more pins than Mitchell. What if Mitchell's like, I'm just going to pin people this year after only doing techs? But 100% bonus is just so tough to do. And his attack rate is not what Mitchell's is. And there's some good guys like Simon Ruiz. That guy is really freaking good. We'll go back and watch that match at NCAAs. That was a really close match, and Ruiz seemingly only getting better. Kennedy's there, so I don't think he's gonna have 100% bonus. But I'll say this: Levi Haynes, Hodge finalist.
Yeah,
I'd lock that in.
I'm also awake on that. I have awoken to the idea of Levi Haynes.
Yes,
for the Hodge, certainly a contender. I'm glad we're talking about strata. You don't hear about stratas all that.
Not enough strata talk.
Good word.
It's a little highbrow for us, but you're here today, so
Next question.
get it going.
It's from Rob. He said, what's a more impressive feat, Duke making the team as a teenager or Snyder making 11 straight teams? And to that, I would say, didn't Kyle win a world title at 19?
Yes,
He was a teenage world champion.
Yeah. Snyder's career is so impressive.
Yeah, since Bruce B, no one's locked down a weight like this.
PJ had to beat maybe 5 different people to do this, and Kyle's had to beat, I don't know,
Yeah, generation.
20 some, including he had to have sort of his international wins sort of fed into that too. So, yeah,
His ability to not even be injured.
that's insane.
Yeah, that is. I never even thought about that. That's
The only injury, actually, I have a point of correction. On the broadcast, I said that that Snyder's last domestic loss was Varner in 16, forgetting he has Kyvan Gadsden has an injury win over Kyle in 2020, late 2020.
Okay.
That I forgot about. But I remember watching that, being like, oh my gosh, Kyle. It kind of looked bad, and it was like, dude, what the heck did Snyder just like? Because it was like a period of time where would he be back and ready? But then he was fine.
Does that count as a loss?
I mean, I kind of in my mind don't really count it, but I'm pretty sure he had a takedown or Guyvan was winning at the time.
Kyvan owns Snyder.
I mean, it's who gets their hand raised is the ultimate determination.
Yes.
Wow.
It took the mat and he got his hand raised. But I'm someone that I'm when you talk about Jason Nolf's career or Carter Starachi's, I'm not oh yeah, John Van Brill beat Jason Nolf.
Yeah.
I just won't say that.
Well, you just did.
But
Clip it.
crap.
All right, next question is from Cornell Kevin. I'm not going to make you read the whole thing, but he basically wants to know which current four-timer was thought to have a shot at 4 titles before they started college, and what wrestlers did you think would win 4 titles before they started college who didn't?
Okay.
I think the first one is more interesting.
I never think anybody's going to win.
100%. Now, this doesn't mean I predicted he would win 4. But I said I did predict preseason Yanni to win NCAAs at 141 that year. So I'll say that. That doesn't mean I'm sure I didn't say. But that opens the possibility, obviously, for him to do so. Aaron Brooks, Carter Starachi, definitely not Carter. Not Aaron. Well, I don't know. I thought Aaron was going to win NCAAs his second freshman year.
Aaron would have had to beat Zahid his true freshman year?
Yes.
So.
You know what's wild is before you can check the receipts, but before he got to college, I said Carter was winning 5. So I don't know how many people predicted that. I didn't predict him to be a 4-timer, just a 5-timer.
The only person that I think I predicted to win 4 NCAA titles, and maybe this is wrong, it was Gable, before his career. I was like, true freshman, ready to win, will win 4 years. Wouldn't be surprised if he never lost.
I think that would if you could find a prediction or whatever, that would be the guy that people would have made the prediction about because he was that ready going into college.
Just
Kyle Dake certainly wasn't someone people were predicting to win 4.
I predicted him to be a 3-time EIWA champ.
Oh, that's right. So you got that one.
Right, that's oddly specific.
There's going to be a lot more four-timer predictions moving forward with the data we have on high school level guys against college and senior level guys. Now, like Cal Dake era, like they weren't really competing in senior level tournaments in high school. And now they are. Like we know Marcus Blaze just beat Brock Hardy last weekend. So we know he's ready, but still kind of like the Snyder stuff, we're talking about how impressive it is. He's just been able to be so healthy. It's, I would still, any guy say it is more likely that they're not a four-timer, even if, like, if Marcus Blaze enters the field, I might predict him to win
Yeah, like future
as
odds
a
is tough
freshman,
to
but
give
it's
you.
like 4 years. I don't know. Like Luke Lodahl this year, he was my pick, right? Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like it's just
He was your pick
But it could
and confirm.
have. But it could
Was
have.
anyone woke to Kale back then?
I have no idea. I can't speak to that. I was in high school.
Yeah.
I know nothing.
If you're in the
Bobby
chat,
Douglas was.
Bobby maybe thought.
if you're in the chat and you were woke to Kale being a four-timer before he got to college, let us know.
Shout out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the real ones.
All right. Sorry, I don't have
That's a good
another
one.
question queued up. Give me a sec.
High schoolers are also getting better and better. So
much
like
better. Dude, Blaze, I thought looked so good in that true third match. So one thing,
On Blaze, Cody Pevler wants to know, did he make the national team at 61 and 65, and has that been done before?
so I don't know if he makes it at 61.
he did. He took
does.
third.
Okay,
He took third at the U.S. Open.
True third.
doubles of the national team. For
So you
Marcus.
can make
Does he
the
get 2 stipends?
well, he can,
double it.
he can go to U23s at either weight.
Did Zilmer take No, he forfeited out of the U.S. Open. I think.
Who?
Too. Zilmer.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Correct.
he obviously took second at 97.
So I would, yeah. I mean, Marcus, just to mention him separately from the four-timer conversation, but watching him against Hardy, so everyone talks about like how positional he is, and he is obviously, but I feel like now he's really melding a way more attacking style, and like guys are, when you're so positioned in such good position all the time, and you're just ready to attack as much as he is, it felt like now that his attack rate's like really, really increasing at the senior level. He's going to be just a nightmare in college.
Yes.
All right. Real Avery Lynch wants to know if Melvin Miller is the biggest Iowa lock since when?
Oh yeah, we didn't mention he.
Bo Bassett, we all knew that.
Melvin Miller released his top 9 schools.
Top 9.
Mhm.
He's a little more understated than Bo.
Yeah.
He's not doing the I give a rose to one or I cut one school a week.
I feel like
5
Melvin,
schools.
it's obviously very likely he goes to Iowa, but I think he really wants to go through. I don't think that, I don't know. It's.
No, I'm with you.
I think that I think he's open.
Every time I see Melvin, he's wearing like a different team shirt. He's like wearing a Rutgers
Yeah. He
quarter
does that
zip, a
very
Virginia Tech
intentionally, I
shirt.
think.
Like, I don't know.
Here's his top 9: Michigan, Pitt, Missouri, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Penn State, Iowa, Nebraska, and NC State.
Well, he's very close with the Bassetts, but Coach Bassett is going to help shepherd him through this process. And, he knows that you want to get the best offer possible, and you want teams competing for your services. And he's going to go through the process, I believe.
Yeah, I do too. He's leveraged. I mean, yeah.
He's going to go through the process, but it's between 3 teams, right?
I guess.
I mean, everybody thought, Rainey's were a lock for Iowa.
No, I'm saying, yeah.
Oh, 3
3
teams.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big 3.
Iowa,
Oklahoma State, Penn State. Like, if you got to put your money on where he's going,
That seems to be the landscape of college wrestling these days.
Yeah.
If you just look at the big boards and where everybody is committing to.
Cool.
All right, Logan Ward hit us with a super chat, $5. Let's.
Dang.
He said, "Please do a segment on best family dynasties. I've seen a few lists on Twitter lately. If it doesn't include the Sandersons, then it's a bad list."
For $4.99, we will include the Sanders.
Deal.
I mean, the Smiths.
Shake. Reply with a handshake emoji. Then he can't take that money back.
Smiths, Carr,
Yeah.
Our family, because now
Mondays.
you think in
Mondays,
multiple
for sure.
generations.
Yeah, those who come.
What's the best one? Tell me the best family dynasty.
Smith.
Von Bauer family, Masters, and now
Masters
Yeah.
champion.
NCAA All-American,
I'd probably say the Smith family.
and beat Bader. Yeah, I mean, even think of like impact on wrestling. The fact that they basically started Little Rock, to what John has done at Oklahoma State, and
John,
what
Pat, Leroy, 3 of them.
He does.
Yep.
Nate Carr and David Carr, father-son duo on world teams. Or did Nate Carr ever make a world team? I see he is an Olympic medalist,
medal-
but I don't know if he's a world.
world.
He doesn't have any world medals. He was an Olympic bronze.
Yeah, so that counts.
Vito and Vugar. Vogar. Why do I always say Vugar?
That's pretty good.
Vogar. Yeah, that's good.
The Arujavs or Rujavs, depending on.
Vogar is
spelling.
number one wrestling dad.
Yeah.
You got to put him up the
think?
top there. All right. Next question is from Mason. He said, "What's most likely between these 3 next open? Dake at 79, Yanni at 65, or Brooks at 92?"
We did this one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It said Dig.
that's Mason's second question, but good for you, Mason.
Shout out Mason.
Next question is from Brian Payne. He said, "Can you give a little info on Coach Katie's background? I know he's doing great things, but I'd never heard of him until a couple years ago."
I don't know. I honestly don't. I know Coach KD a little bit. I don't know his background. So no.
Okay.
I will get it.
Yeah, maybe we need to find out more.
Okay.
That's homework for me. I'm going to call him and I'm going to get his background. And then I'll report back, Brian.
Next question is from Sipdit. He said, how many people have made 15 world teams? Is it just me, or does it feel like Helen could keep going for almost as long as she wants to domestically? Who from America is going to beat her next?
Yeah, it does feel that way. She does feel.
It's amazing, like what she does to the field, how she's been that level above, not like fighting for it or but just she's still pinning people as if it's easy.
Yeah.
People that make Final X.
She just, yeah, she's aging really well in her wrestling. She continues to look just as good as ever. I mean, for 3 straight Olympics, she's been right there to win it, including winning it in 2016. Yeah, I mean, we've seen in wrestling that careers can span pretty long in women's wrestling. Yoshida and Icho wrestled forever. Who's the lady? Stadnik. She was in the
Maria Stadnik,
game
yeah.
forever. So we've seen it happen in the past, and yeah, it's certainly Helen has the pedigree. It's really more than anything. It's like, how long does she want to?
Yeah. Well, I feel like she's been making choices with her training where she knows she doesn't have to compete everywhere. She's leveled up and she trusts her skills and her abilities, and she'll just kind of pick and choose when she wants to get back in there. And if she keeps winning, it's like you only need to wrestle a couple times a year now.
She literally dabbles in jiu-jitsu this year, and it sounded like she put a post that basically she was like on a run or a walk and was like, all right, I need to move back to Phoenix and try to make the team.
Get back to some wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, good.
All right. Next question is from Yo. That's his name on Twitter. He said, "Will Yanni win another world medal in his career? Looked damn good through 1.5 matches. I think he gets another."
Yeah, that's tough.
I think yes.
I would like to say yes. I feel like he looked like a world medalist.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of.
I say yes.
Halfway through match 2, me and Andy were just like, bro, he's going to win a world title this year.
Yeah.
It's like, you know that it's there.
Yeah, I still can't believe how that unfolded.
It's the disadvantage for Yanni is if Final X is in that building again. That building, Yanni needs to get a delayed wrestle off and wrestle somewhere else.
Yeah.
Dude.
There you go. Well, you got to get a medal to do that.
Yeah, you got chicken before, or the cart before the horse.
Yeah,
Right before the chicken.
Chicken and a horse.
I think
Horse
that,
before the egg?
That's right.
I do think Yanni will get another world medal in his career.
Yeah.
Say yes as well.
All right, let me go to today's questions. I was on Mondays.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
really
got to
didn't get
today's.
to a lot.
EJ Newton wants to know, will Iran be at Worlds this year?
I hope so. Man, definitely concerning situation, praying for peace and cooler heads and all that, and would hate for Iran to be negatively impacted in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
Because they're a big part of it.
I think yes. I think there's some big differences between Russia and Ukraine. Not to get into any of the, trying to stay away from as much any politics as possible, but there's no invasion. There's no need for a conscription as of now, knock on wood, of like all the able-bodied young men of Iran don't need to be funneled into this project or whatever,
Yeah.
thing. And same goes for Israel. So I would think you'd see both of those teams at some capacity, but you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like there are curveballs in international relations all the time, and unfortunately, international sports kind of have to obey the whims of whatever's going around geopolitically.
All right. Next question is from Jed Cox. He says, on the next episode of Spade and Tutored, can we get a rundown of Zagreb?
Spaleontology.
Yeah, I can.
Zagreb right here.
I could talk about Zagreb. So there it is, nestled in the foothills of the. Those are the Alps, the Eastern Alps. It's the capital of Croatia. Croatia is one of the westernmost Slavic nations. Used to be part of Yugoslavia, and it also used to be part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So it's much more Western leaning in that it's predominantly Roman Catholic, although it's not a very religious country now. Them in Slovenia, you see, are right near northern Italy and Austria, which are some of the more advanced, developed countries. Croatia, Bosnia, and Serbia all basically speak the same language, but Croatia writes in Roman alphabet and are Roman Catholic, whereas Serbia writes in Cyrillic and are Eastern Orthodox, even though they're all basically the same culture. And Bosnia is kind of in the middle, and they have more Muslims than any other country. But then after World War II, or after World War I, the Austro-Hungarian Empire collapsed, and Yugoslavia was kind of formed. It was mostly neutral during World War II, although don't ask the Ustashi or what they were doing during World War II.
Don't ask them.
Don't ask them.
They weren't great guys. And then when Yugoslavia collapsed, there was a segment of Serbian Croatians that wanted to peel off chunks of Croatia and make that part of Greater Serbia. And so there's still maybe some tension between the Croatians and Serbians. But I think that was in the 90s, and now it's kind of chilled out a little bit more. But I got to go there in 2018 for a beach wrestling championships, and it is a very chill, very fun city. Lots of great people. They're very nice, and they like to see tourists. It's not.
Where can I find this picture?
That I don't know.
On this map, where is it at?
Is that in Zagreb?
Yep.
Really?
I would say somewhere.
Says,
Near that river.
says things to do in Zagreb 2025, attractions and activities.
It looks like more of a canal than on that river.
Okay.
That's a nice park there, the Jarun Park. See it, the straight line lake
Over here?
to the right of that.
Right here.
You're on it.
Yeah, right there. That's where the beach wrestling was,
that
and they
looks
do rowing, they do like water races.
A lot of people wonder about Croatia. How did they pull off just denying Bosnia ever having a beach?
Oh well, yeah,
Show that.
Yeah.
yeah. They're like, hey, can we get to this water? No, do
Yeah,
that
it
to
just,
them.
It just took the entire.
Yeah,
Really landlocked.
makes like a big
all the way
backwards
down.
C.
Oh, they have this little bit right here.
They have
Wow.
but that was actually
Nice concession from the Croatians.
it was actually to block the Sanjak of Novi Pazar. That was like
Wow.
Serbia was trying to get to the Adriatic, and that's why Montenegro kind of blocked Serbia as well. The other great powers didn't want Serbia with Adriatic Sea access because Serbia was kind of like Russia's little minion.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you gonna say something else.
This is a picture of Jarun Lake. This is beautiful.
Ooh.
We got to check that out, boys.
Check it out.
Yeah, and there's
We'll do
little
some laps
cafes
around
and
it.
stuff around it, and yeah, it's good stuff. And then the old school, the old city center is just like what you expect from old European stuff, like cobblestone streets and then the tiled roofs, and yeah, there you go.
Just looks like that. Who's pumped?
I'm pumped.
September 13th through 21st, live on Flow Wrestling.
Let's make it as good as the Oslo trip, just to make JD furious.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if
Both
we,
also and
Zagreb.
yeah, those are just off his list. I'm never going. Okay. Any
All right.
others?
Yeah, we have a few. We
keep
still have
going.
some time.
Yeah, let's do it.
D on Twitter wants to know, does PJ... Oh, I was on Google Images, so something happened. But he wants to know, does PJ take out Kazak for the team spot?
Well, I don't know. Take out. I think they're just gonna have to make a decision what they want to do, what those guys want to do. I talked about this. I forget, like after NCAAs, but before freestyle, like this was a possibility that PJ would be the guy. Now, the easiest way to do it is wrestle PJ, redshirt Kasak, then flip, and let Mitchell graduate. So in some form or fashion, that's what they're going to have to do. Either you shelf PJ for this year and then switch next year with Tyler or vice versa. But it feels like you should wrestle PJ this year because I think making 157 2 years from now is not a guarantee, and Mitchell's not. Someone said, wow, Mitchell will go up to 174. I just think that makes literally no sense. I don't see anything in Mitchell that says he's bursting at the seams to need to go up a weight.
Imagine if they had to get him a bigger singlet. He'd be swimming in that thing.
I know.
We talked about Mitchell doing a switcheroo and going 57.
I think he could. I don't think he's going to. I mean, he's a national champion.
Yeah.
I don't think it would make sense. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not saying he should. I'm saying
No.
that was something we talked about going into this season because we're trying to figure out. Remember, we weren't sure that Levi was going to slide in at 74 perfectly, and then he ended up competing freestyle at 79 and looked
Let's
great.
petition to get Mitchell down to 57 and Caliendo down to 57. Make 57 mega weight.
Mega weight.
Mega weight.
Whoa.
Possibly
That'd be
you.
Okay. Joseph Floyd, I don't know. I'm just going to read it. Joseph Floyd wants to know, is Blade going to be a better version of Crookham? Does he take the title of best counter wrestler in the country?
Oh, I see what he's saying. Because Crookham likes to kind of play that
I guess he's
game.
Marcus. I don't know. I don't think Blaze and Crookham are going to have similar attributes when it's all.
And when I think Crookham, I think like
counter scramble.
yeah, like rubber knee type stuff. Blaze is a little bit more traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not letting you touch the legs,
Right.
really, if he can help it. Whereas Crookham will let you in and then school you a little bit. Very different styles, though both have really good defense. It rears itself in a different way.
Jed Cox wants to know if Sion corners the market with his donut side hustle and leaves Flo for early retirement. Well, that's not really early retirement, but I see what you're saying. Which current D1 head wrestling coach would you choose to fill the opening?
You need a coach for that.
What D1 wrestling coach do you think could do Sion's job?
Only one Sion.
I don't know. It's got to be someone that like wears a ton of hats.
Any head coach.
Yeah, but some of them are.
I
I
think
don't
we
know.
should just get Kale.
Yeah, we should get Kale.
Sion could actually hook that up because they are old friends. And so Sion would be like, hey, guys, I'm committed to the donut game now. But don't worry, I got my replacement all ready to go. He's a hard worker, and you'll appreciate what he brings to the table. And then in comes Kale, and he works here now.
Yeah,
You
this
know-
has always been Kale's dream job.
I feel like Rob Cole's got to be like the best businessman wrestling coach.
Yeah,
This guy, I was there with the Bachmans on June 15th when
Oh, yeah?
they got their phone call from Rob Cole. This guy's great on the phone, man. He just
good on the phone.
he's great on the phone. He's funny.
Phone guy.
Yeah.
He loves recruiting. He said that's like his favorite part of the job.
Yeah. That is
What?
actually
Is that not
psychopathic.
insane?
It's
It's
like,
like-
everyone's least favorite part.
That and like I think he loves like fundraising. It's like, bro, this
Wow.
guy.
It's called fun racing for a reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's why he'd do Sion's job well.
Those are the two things that it's like, oh, you think you're a wrestling coach? Like, you know, what's most important? All right, getting down there and improving guys, you know, wrestling game, actually coaching them up. But at a D1 level like that, at big institutions, recruiting and fundraising.
You're a CEO.
Yeah.
All right. This guy, Presidential Wrestling Club RTC, wants to know he's basically asking you what top 5 accounts to follow for wrestling content.
Flow wrestling.
Dylon, and Dylon.
I mean, I think Flow Wrestling.
C Piles 8.
Well, thank you.
See piles 1 through 8. Those are top 8.
1 through 8. I mean, I think you follow the main governing bodies, USA and UWW.
I stay shouting out Earn Your Gold Medal.
Earn Your Gold is a great one. It depends, like, if you want. Do you want news? Do you want technique?
I love the international guys. There was a fallow period of not a lot of international guys on Twitter where in like 13, 14, when I really started nerding out, it was like, oh, look at all these guys talking about international wrestling. And then they all kind of like dropped off for various things. But now there's like a younger generation where there's like a Georgian kid, there's a British kid, there's Che, the Chechen guy, there's a French guy, and they're all just following like the Japanese wrestling and this and that. So I like those guys.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the screen, handles off. Maybe I'll do one of those lists.
If you're not following Ono, oh wait, I can't pull it up for a second.
You can't pull it up.
Hold on. If you're not following Ono, you are missing out on his full denim fits.
That is
Ooh,
crazy.
Denim Dan.
So, just
That is
saying.
unreal.
That's a fit.
That's
What would
definitely worth a
Stevan say
follow.
about that since he was harsh about
Yeah, if you're into fashion and wrestling, Stevan Micic, great.
That's
follow.
true, yeah. If you like clothes.
If you like guy who's gonna wear his headgear as a fashion statement on the streets of Tokyo, Stevan Micic.
There you go.
Drippy shoes approves.
What's is Stevan done?
I don't know. He still trains every week. I think he's like staying ready. I look, man.
Just living.
He's just waiting for the World Championships to get back to Serbia.
I think like things are tough with like with the new transfer rules. Definitely complicate things where you have to have native wrestlers, like people that are not transfers.
Oh, might he be voted off the Serbian island?
No, but it does like he didn't make a decision before Euros, so like that kind of leaves them out for this year. You know,
He's got to recruit some more locals.
I know he's very interested in wrestling on cards. So
Okay. There you go.
he's still training. That's all of our questions.
Well, cool. 11:28. It's go time. We thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's 11:39 of our episodes, though. We will be back Monday. JD won't be here. Spay, I hope you're here.
I'm on vacay.
Oh, shoot.
Vacay tomorrow.
A spaycation?
Vacation with the Spays.
Oh, my gosh.
Talk about a lot of Lehigh wrestling with Steve.
All right, fine. Well, Tyler's here. Maybe we'll get Kozak, maybe Bray. We'll have people. I'm going to be here. That
I
is
think
my
I'm actually gonna be sick.
Yeah. I can see you were blowing your nose aggressively before the show. It got Ollie and I both a little concerned.
Just stuff in my nose, man. I'm not sick.
That's okay. But we'll be back. Thank you guys so much. Big thank you again to Nike Wrestling for making this show possible. But especially you. If you don't listen to the show, great sponsors like Nike say, no thank you. So thanks so much to you for listening. We will be back Monday. Have a great, great weekend. See you next time. Goodbye.